Okay, so your warm-up today, did everybody grab a warm-up? Your warm-up today is 2 questions that I'm hoping y'all could answer without knowing the formulas. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But how do we find the area of a rectangle? Does anybody remember? Area is base times height of a rectangle. You just multiply the base and multiply the height. So what is my base of this rectangle? What's the bottom? And what is my height of the rectangle? How tall is it? And what is 5 times 2? 10. Now, as a reminder, you're always going to write the units down. This unit is centimeters. Whenever it involves area, your units are squared. Not your number, just the units. Because I multiplied 5 centimeters times 2 centimeters, that gives you 10 centimeters squared. What if I ask you to find the perimeter? What does perimeter mean? Adding all the sides. Do I even have all the sides? I only have 2 of the sides. Phone up, Nevaeh.
Isn't it like the thing that like meters, like 2?
Yeah. If this side is 2, what's this side?
2.
If this side is 5, what's this side? 5. And so then how do I add them all up?
5 plus 5 and 2 plus 2.
Yeah, and you can do it any order. 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 5 is 14. And because we're just adding, we don't have any squared, it's just centimeters. So that took you back to like 3rd grade, maybe. Let's see what this is. Oh, yeah, we're not going to worry about that. Okay. Now, on your test, you are going to be asked about perimeter and area. So, perimeter is the distance around a shape. Where in life have we seen perimeter get used? So, a fence. Anytime a fence is built, do you agree that's going around the perimeter of your land or of land? Correct. And then area is the space inside the shape. All right? So, could you tell me, do y'all know what shingles on a roof are?
The little things that
These things right here?
Yeah.
Those are shingles. Is that covering the perimeter or is that covering the area? The area. Shingles on a roof are area. This is nowhere to be found. You're just looking up at the board. That is area because it's covering the whole roof. What about putting baseboards on your kitchen? So, at school we have some really janky, cheap baseboards. I need y'all to look at the carpet and the wall. Where the carpet meets the wall, do you see that black line? That is a baseboard. Now, at your houses, that's plastic, really cheap. You probably have wood baseboards if you have them. All right? They look probably more like this. Y'all see how at the bottom right here? Yeah, those are baseboards. Is that going to be area or perimeter? That is perimeter. It goes around the room. So baseboards go around the room. All right? And clean those suckers. They're probably really dusty and dirty. They take a lot of stuff to clean. What about wallpapering your laundry room? Putting up, none of these are wallpaper. Y'all know what wallpaper is, right? What if I put up wallpaper in the laundry? Oh, here we go. Wallpaper in my laundry room. Is that perimeter or is that going to be area? That's area. It's putting it on the whole wall, so it's the whole thing. So it is area. And last but not least, which me and well, let me be honest, I did not. My husband did this weekend, fertilizing the lawn. Would that be area or perimeter? Area. Fertilizing the lawn is like when you put fertilizer all over it, and you're going to cover the whole thing when you fertilize the lawn. So that is area as well. Oh, these are supposed to be like baseboards. What else can you think of in life that is perimeter? Yeah, outlining the windows or things like that. Absolutely, that would be perimeter because it is around. What about your car?
I said a car.
What about the car?
The metal thing inside of it, and you put the outer shell or the metal thing on it.
Oh, the frame of a car? Yeah, that would be the perimeter. That's a little bit more 3-dimensional. Everything we're going to be doing is 2-dimensional flat. But I get where you're going with that, and you're not wrong. A picture frame. Do y'all agree a picture frame is the perimeter of a picture? Yeah, for sure. Bulletin boards. If y'all look at my bulletin board over there in the back, the one that has all the information on it, do you see the purple around it, the purple ribbon? That's a perimeter, an example of perimeter. So there's tons of examples. And then area would be like, installing carpet. Do y'all agree you would install carpet on the whole room? Did you hear the whole Jersey Village is getting worked on this summer? Yeah. Did you hear we're getting all of our carpet replaced, all of our furniture, hopefully some new chairs, things like that. They're building a whole new classroom over there by JVTV. Did y'all hear that? No. Oh. Did y'all hear like they're taking out the small commons and giving us a bigger commons? Yeah, all kinds of stuff's happening here. And they're going to be using area and perimeter the whole time. Well, it is what it is. I'm sure they're not too heartbroken. They're just ready to get out. Yeah, they don't care. They're ready to go. All right, if you can please fold this paper right here, these notes. You're basically going to fold it like a swinging door. It's going to go on one side right here. And then on this side right here. Like so. I probably did that really well. All right, we are going to be going over all of these together. If I'm writing it down, I need you to write it down, please. So we actually already talked about a rectangle. Rectangle, and by the way, anytime you see big A, that means area. What does the B stand for, a little b? It stands for base. And what does H stand for? Height. And so as you look over here, you actually probably notice this whole entire row is B's and H's, right? All of them are bases and heights. So a rectangle, a square, and a parallelogram are all base times height. Base times height. What are also all three of these? What shape are they? They are all parallelograms. A rectangle is a parallelogram. A square is a parallelogram. But what else are they? Quadrilaterals. They're all quadrilaterals. All right. But so is a kite and a rhombus, and we'll come back to that. So, are you really going to have a question on your test that asks you find the area of a rectangle? You are. So, my area is going to be my base times my height. What is my base? 12. Do y'all agree what's on top is also going to be on the bottom? Yeah. What is my height?
8.
And what is 12 times 8? Math. That you may be able to do in your head, you may not. That's not what it says. 12 times 8 is 96. So this area is 96 units squared. Now, I do want you to know that it also may say something about length and width. Length and width are the same thing as base times height. So if you get to a problem on your worksheet tomorrow and it's like the length is this, that's the same thing as the base or the height. It doesn't matter which one it is. Okay? What if I asked you about the perimeter? What if I wanted you to work backwards? I'm giving you A. What does A stand for? Area. So do we agree area is base times height? Do we agree with that? I'm giving you the area and telling you it's 60. What else am I giving you? That's an L. That's the length. What did I just say? Length is the same thing as base and height. Length and width, base and height. It doesn't matter which one it is. So I'm going to say the length is your base. That's 8. I want to find the height. How do I get H by itself? I'm going to divide. Do y'all agree over here we multiplied? Mm-hmm. So if I want to work backwards, what am I going to do? Divide it. And what is 60 divided by 8? Let's see.
Is that why it says put the triangle like the base one?
What?
The ones with the triangle, so the division. Or like,
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that, yeah. And so it is 7.5, not 70. My height is 7.5. But is that what this question is asking for? But it wants the perimeter, right? So, do y'all agree this is 8? If this is 8, what's up top? And what did we just discover the height was? 7.5. And so what's the other side going to be? So how do I find perimeter? Add them all together. You could multiply each of them by 2 and add them together. By the way, on this test, I will be giving you this formula chart. It's the same formulas, but it does not have perimeter anywhere. Nope, no perimeter formula. All right, so this is going to be, I'm going to add them all together. So 7.5 plus 8 plus 7.5 plus 8. I saw some of y'all do it in the calculator. What did y'all get? 31? So this is going to be just 31 units. No squared because it's perimeter. What about a square? What did I say the formula for a square was? It's still base times height, right? Do y'all agree a square is a rectangle? So it's still base times height. Now, a square is special though. Why? Do y'all agree the base and the height are going to be the same? So if this base is 8, what's the height going to be? 8. So I do want you to know, although it's 8 times 8, a lot of times for a square, they are going to show it 8 squared. Hey, y'all, that's why that's called squared, because of a square. So 8 squared, do y'all agree 8 times 8 is the same thing as 8 squared? And what is that? Because do you agree 8 times 8 is the same thing as 8 squared?
Yeah, but why is it 8 squared?
Because what's the base? What's the base? What's the height? Why?
Because that's 8 behind.
But why are they both 8?
Because it's a square.
Yeah. So that's why.
But why does not add 8 times 2?
8 times 8 is not 8 times 2.
Or why can't you just do 8?
You can't, 8 times 8. You can. Same thing.
No, I'm not talking about 8 times 8. I'm talking about 8 plus 8.
Why would you add?
Oh, that's the same.
Yes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're multiplying, we're not adding. So 8 squared is what? Eight squared? Nobody knows 8 squared? 64. You cut that in half. Don't cut it in half. So, what if I have the area? Area is base times height. Okay, we can't. So be careful. If I have the area, do you agree the base and the height are the same thing? So what we actually do here, this is 20.25. Of a square, if I have the area, base times height are the same, we say it's the side squared. That's what we did right here when we did 8 squared. The side squared. If I know the area of a square, how do I get it by itself? We square root it. So to find the side of a square, you're going to square root. And I don't know 20.25 square rooted. It is 4.5. So this side length is 4.5. Is that what the question is asking for? No, what's the question asking for? Perimeter. Now, because it's a square, what do we know again? All sides are the same. So what can I do here? The perimeter of a square is 4 times the side. So what is 4 times 4.5?
And that would be the same thing as 4.5
18.
squared.
No. 4.5 squared is your area, which is this. So you're getting perimeter and area confused. Perimeter is adding up everything. Area is multiplying everything. So I had heard somebody say, hey, can we just divide this by 4? If that were a perimeter, you could divide it by 4. But because it's an area, you have to square root it. Yeah. And we're going to practice that so y'all get better with that. It's a little weird. All right, last quadrilateral that has base times height is a parallelogram. So again, all of these are BH. I do want you to put real quick for the square, we just talked about it. What does S stand for? The side. So you can do base times height, but they're the same, so you can also do the side squared. All right. Parallelogram, base times height again. Be careful with the parallelogram. What is my base here? 13. Sorry, let me do the same color. My base is 13. What is my height? 11. Now be careful. Do you see how this goes straight up and down? This right here on the side is not a height. Do y'all see how this right here is slanted? It is not a height. You might want to write that down. Not a height. If it is slanted, it's not a height. It's a slant. And then what is 13 times 11? 143. Units squared. If I don't give you what the units are, you can just write units squared, u squared. But a lot of times, not on these, but a lot of times I'll tell you it's inches or centimeters, so you do that squared. But here you're just going to do units. All right, how would I work backwards? I know the area is base times height. This time I'm given the area, not the base, but I'm given the height of 8. Please write that down. Again, if I'm writing it down, so are you. I can divide what? By 8. I want to get B by itself, so I'm going to divide by 8. And 144 divided by 8 is a very pretty 18. Did I answer the question? Yeah, this one's not asking for perimeter. We're done. What questions do I have? Are we okay? All right, let's talk about this next shape. I'm going to close this. Is that okay? Everybody write it down? If I close this, what's the next shape on here? Triangle. Triangle still has B and H with it. Do you agree? Still base and height. But what's the difference here? It has a 1/2. Why does it have the 1/2? Well, think about it. What happens if I slice this diagonally? It's a triangle. If you slice a square diagonally, a triangle. And what if you slice a parallelogram diagonally? So a triangle, don't y'all agree, is half of each of these shapes? Yeah. And if you have 2 triangles, don't you agree that you could create a rectangle? Yeah. So that's why it is 1/2 base times height. So we are going to have to do that here. Area for a triangle is 1/2 BH. What's my base here? 9 is my base. What is my height here? 6 is my height. And then you're just going to put that in the calculator. What is 1/2 9 times 6? And that's all you have to do there. For a triangle, you're adding in the 1/2. Now, we could definitely get a little bit more complicated with this. Do you agree that I could give you the diagonal and make you find this right here by doing Pythagorean theorem? Or something like that. So I'm not always necessarily going to give you the base and the height. Sometimes you're going to have to find it. How would I find the perimeter of this triangle? What does this tick mark mean? They're both 25. How do I find the bottom part? I can't do Pythagorean. Honestly, you could do Pythagorean theorem. Actually, you're right, you could. But I'm actually going to do something else here. Because what does it give us up top? Area. So I'm going to do area equals 1/2 base times height. And what's on the bottom? What do we call that? What are we missing? We're missing the base. So I'm going to plug in everything. 300. Please write this down with me. What's the height here? 15. Remember, the height goes straight up and down. Alexa, you with me over there? You with me? Okay. How do I get the B by itself? What am I going to do? So you could do two things. You could actually multiply 15 by 1/2 and then divide it, or I can just divide it right now. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. Do y'all agree that crosses both of those out? I crossed out the 15, I crossed out the 1/2, so now B is by itself. And you can just put this in the calculator like that. What is 300 divided by 1/2 times 15? You okay? It is 40. Is that my question?
No.
No, it's not. What's my question asked for? Find the perimeter. What am I going to do to find the perimeter here? I got to add all the outside. 25 plus 25 plus 40. What's 25 plus 25? Plus 40?
90.
So this is going to be 90 units. Is my answer. Alright, I told y'all normally we would stop and we would practice, but because of the weird week that we're going to have, we are going to keep going. I know y'all are tired, and I know you're probably ready for like me to stop talking, right? Yeah, and it's a Monday. I get it. Just power through with me because I'm not going to talk it all tomorrow, okay? Okay, cool. Do we need to stretch a little bit? We need to pop our backs? No, just because I'm old? Alright, cool. Alright, next, if you can please now go to this right side here. This right side is, in my opinion, on the left, you should have already learned all those. Maybe this top one we've already learned and we've talked about this year, but the right side's full of maybe new ones that you haven't seen as much. We definitely have already talked about a circle this year, like last week. Y'all agree with that? All right, a circle is area equals pi r squared. What does the r stand for? Radius. Everybody please write that down, even though I'm really hoping you already knew that. And we are going to plug into this. So, find the area of this circle. What is my radius here? 3.5. So, area equals pi r squared. And I'm just going to put that in the calculator. Remember when I go into the calculator, what am I not going to put? Pi. So 3.5 squared is 12.25 pi, or hit the fraction bar, 49 over 4 pi. Both of these are correct. Again, could you put pi in the calculator? Sure, but look at your answer. It's ugly. That's still right. It's just super disgusting. What if I want to work backwards? What if I tell you, here's the area, find the circumference? So area is pi r squared. I know my A is 20.25 pi. How do I get my R by itself? The pi's what? The pi's cancel out. If you have one on one side and one on the other, you can cross them out. How do I get R by itself right here? What's with it? The little squared. How do we get rid of squared? Square root. And what you do to one side? You do to the other. I don't know why it's the same number. We already square rooted that number. Does anybody remember what it was? It was 4.5. 4.5 is my radius. So if you have a circle or a square, guys, y'all are going to just square root to work backwards. Those two, you square root. Circle and a square. Is this what the question asked for, though? No. What does the question ask for? What is circumference? Does anybody remember that formula we did earlier last week? Circumference is 2 pi r. So 2 pi times, what's my radius? 4.5. And again, when we're putting this in the calculator, do we put pi? No. What is 2 times 4.5? So my answer here is 9 pi. And it is just, like, circumference is just perimeter. So it's just u, no u squared. All right, close your notes, please. A trapezoid. Have y'all ever seen this formula?
Yes.
Maybe years ago, but we don't remember it. Somebody looked at me like, no. A trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. I'm actually going to have you rewrite it. We are going to do 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. That's actually how you're going to see it on your test written more than this one right here.
What's different?
It's the same thing, just instead of dividing it by 2, it's multiplying by 1/2. It's the same formula. Just writing 1/2 instead of divided by 2. All right? So that's how I'm going to do this formula. If you look at your formula chart that I had showed you earlier, do you see how it actually gives you both of those versions, the divided by 2 and the 1/2 out front? So it doesn't matter which way you do it. I just prefer this way right here. So that's 1/2 base 1 plus base 2. Why does it have base 1 and base 2, B1 and B2? For a trapezoid, there's 2 different bases. Y'all see that right there? So, for a trapezoid, area equals 1/2 B1 plus B2 times the height. It's basically taking the average of their bases, since you have 2 different ones. Don't forget that half out front. That's what people always forget. Also, this is adding the bases, not multiplying. So what's your first base here?
5.
It doesn't matter which one's which. What's the next base? Could you have done 7 plus 5?
Yeah.
Sure. And how tall is this trapezoid? 3. And then you're just going to put that in the calculator. Or do it in your head, whichever one you need to do. So what is 1/2 5 plus 7 times 3? It is 18 units squared. One half base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. Now what do you think we're going to do if we have to work backwards?
A lot of math.
Oh, not that much.
People wanna work backwards.
This is what makes geometry different than what y'all learned in middle school. In middle school, y'all only learned how to work forward, I believe. And geometry, we're doing it backwards. Also, we're going to put shapes together. You have to figure it out. What do I know? What did they give me here?
The area.
They gave me the area is what? 99. I also have the bases. And again, it doesn't matter what order you do. Base 1 I'm going to do as 10. Base 2 I'm going to do as 12 times the height. Fill out what you know. How do I get h by itself?
Divide 1,000 times.
I'm going to divide by everything that's next to it because it's all multiplying. Could you put that in the calculator and figure out what it is? Sure. Do you have to? No, it'll give you the same answer if you do. Does anybody know what 10 plus 12 is? And what's half of 22? So could I technically just divide by 11? Sure. But I'm going to show you it works either way. So 99 divided by 1/2 of 10 plus 12. Or you could do it out and do 99 divided by 11. Either way, what's the height here? Is that what the question's asking? Yeah, so we're done. By the way, if I didn't say it over here, is this slant the height? No, the height goes straight up and down. That's actually why it does not ask us for the perimeter, because can I find the perimeter if I'm given the height? No. All right, close your notes. We're almost done. A rhombus and a kite have the exact same formula. And I'm going to actually write it different, but before I do, does anybody know what D1 and D2 stand for? Although that is true in sports, not in formulas. I'm going to do this 1/2 D1, and this is, be careful, this is multiplied. Your bases are added up here, but this is multiplication. And what does D stand for?
This is,
Please write that down. That is a test question. The D's in the rhombus and kite formula stand for diagonals. D in rhombus and kite stands for diagonals. How long is the diagonal? So again, although it says D1 and D2 and it divided by 2, we're going to do 1/2 D1, D2. Open up once you've written this formula down. How do we find the area of a rhombus? Well, my formula is 1/2 D1 times D2. It doesn't matter which one's which. So AB is what? 7. CD, what's CD? 10. I'm just reading up top right there. So do I have both the diagonals? Yeah, let's plug that in. 1/2, what's the first diagonal? What's the second diagonal? And then put that in the calculator or do it in your head. What is 7 times 10? And what's half of that? So this is 35 units squared. I want you to do the one right below it.
Wouldn't it be 30?
Why would it be 30?
Because you're dividing it.
Yeah, what's 6 times 10?
16.
And half of 60 is 30 units squared is my answer. Again, do y'all see how we are multiplying? The only problem you're adding in any of these besides perimeter is the base 1 and base 2 in trapezoid. All right, last one. Be careful on this. It gives us the area. So area equals 1/2 D1 times D2. What is this diagonal right here? Why 24? Do y'all see how this side is 12? What's this side going to be? 12. Write that down. What is 12 plus 12? 24. So I know the area is 216. 1/2. 24 is the diagonal. I have to find the second diagonal. What am I going to do? I want to get D2 by itself, so I'm dividing. And what's half of 24? So you could either divide this to, I'll put that back up, sorry, by 1/2 of 24, or you could divide this just by 12. You're going to get the same answer. So what's my second diagonal? 18. Does that answer this question, though? This question just wants to know what x is. If the whole thing is 18, what's the top going to be? Why 9? Because it's just half of it. Do y'all agree 9 and 9 would give me 18? Yeah, that one's complicated. I don't know if you'll have anything that complex. Please write that down. Thank y'all for bearing with me. You have taken all of the notes that we are going to do, maybe for this week, maybe not. We're going to glue these in. I don't know if we have time to glue, so we might just put them in the back pocket and glue tomorrow. That might be the only talking I do tomorrow. But we are going to glue these into page 64, 2D area formulas. Page 64, 2D area formulas. And tomorrow we'll do the assignment.